You're a princess, and you'll die poor, just like your father." Laughter echoed through the workshop. 17-year-old Ernesto held back his tears as his boss threw the piece of metal he had tried to solder onto the ground. "If you can't even fix a simple hinge, how do you expect to change your destiny?" The other apprentices watched in silence. No one dared to defend him. That night, Ernesto walked home in the rain, through the dusty streets of the industrial district. In his pocket, he carried a few coins, and in his heart, he carried his mother's voice. "Son, poverty isn't a sentence, it's a test." When he got home, he knelt by his bed and prayed, "God, I don't want riches, just a chance to prove I'm worth something." Years passed. Ernesto never stopped working. He learned every trade he could. Mechanics, carpentry, electricity. He studied at night and slept very little. But every day he promised himself he wouldn't give up. One day, while repairing an old machine in a small workshop, a foreign engineer watched him in silence. Intrigued by his ingenuity, he approached him. "Did you design that fix yourself?" "Yes, sir," Ernesto replied. "I just improvised with what I had." The engineer shook his head. "That's not improvising, kid. That's talent." A few months later, that same engineer took him to a factory in Houston. Ernesto, with his humble accent and his calloused hands, started from the very bottom. But soon, everyone was talking about his incredible ability to solve impossible problems. 10 years later, at an industrial innovation exhibition, a prominent businessman presented him to a large crowd. "With you, the creator of the system that has revolutionized mechanical production in Latin America, Engineer Ernesto Ramirez." In the front row, an older, gray-haired man watched with tears in his eyes. It was his old boss. He approached Ernesto with shame and whispered, "Forgive me, son. I called you useless, but you were pure gold all along." Ernesto looked at him, smiled calmly, and replied, "Don't worry, sir. If you hadn't thrown me out that day, I would have never learned to fly." The old man lowered his head, overcome with emotion. And so, the boy everyone had once despised became the pride of his city. Because poverty doesn't define your value. It only measures your faith and your resilience. If you also believe that ordinary people can become heroes, comment "I believe" down below and share this story. Thanks for watching.